Super Mario 3D All-Stars is out, and the games in this collection are nothing short of amazing. It is just a shame that the clock is ticking down to the end of its limited time release. Scalpers rejoice as an artificially limited stock, both physically and digitally, has granted them another payday, and they have clearly taken advantage of it this time. Even so, the blame is all on Nintendo, who is obviously promoting this as a holiday 2020 and a 35th anniversary exclusive release. And we all know when the end of that celebration is: March 31st, 2021. After that, the Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection could be gone forever, and its content might not be available on the Nintendo Switch. Or will it, since it's more likely that it will be reborn in a different form. But now let's keep this quick. Aim 3,500 likes for 35 years of Super Mario, subscribe and press that notification bell if you haven't already, and after our review comparison of Super Mario 3D All-Stars, let's get inside its problems. The limited release, lack of Super Mario Galaxy 2, what will happen after March 31st, and much more. Until March 31st to secure a Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine and Super Mario Galaxy to the end of the Switch generation, unless we want to deal with scalpers on eBay. Or probably not, as despite being a move aimed at maximizing holiday sales under the cover of a limited 35th anniversary release, there's no way that Nintendo will hide these games away forever. Well, maybe one of them, but we will get back to it soon. Stressing kids around the world to torture their parents to buy them the once-in-a-lifetime Super Mario 3D All-Stars is obviously not fair. But obviously, Nintendo knows that Super Mario games equal money, and with 3D Mario in higher demand than ever before, a limited release means another wave of profits to cap off Nintendo's remaining financial quarters of this year. Putting it lightly, this release has been controversial. Plenty of Super Mario 3D All-Stars pre-orders were cancelled, and it is a sign that the demand for this collection, despite its flaws, is higher than the supply. It is actually funny to think that 2020 will be won financially by Nintendo, with one big mainline new game, Animal Crossing New Horizons, a few smaller new first-party titles like Paper Mario The Origami King, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, 3D Mario All-Stars, and other remasters, ports, and spin-off titles. But let's jump to March 31st, 2021. Scalpers have made sure that all remaining physical copies of the collection have not been available for the last week or so, forcing everyone to an equally as great choice in Monster Hunter Rise. And then April 1st is here. The game is taken off the Nintendo Switch eShop and only available through resellers. What now? It could be like this, but it could also be an April Fool's joke that the games are gone and Nintendo then decides on this day to announce the first set of Nintendo Select titles. Something we listed as a possibility back in January. Remasters of games from past systems and brand new Switch games that have turned at least 3 years old. This happened with Super Mario All-Stars on Nintendo Wii and Super Mario 3D World on the Nintendo Wii U. Then again, All-Stars became a Select title 6 years after the 25th anniversary and 4 years after Wii had been succeeded by the Wii U. No, it is more likely that Nintendo simply sees that some may not want to spend $60 on 14 years or older Mario games, and instead of selling them as a bundle, provide them as separate experiences beginning from April 1st. Well, at least Sunshine for $20 on the eShop, which is good for the fans of that game who don't want to spend another $40 for say 64 and Galaxy. Then again, in the case of Super Mario 64 and Super Mario Galaxy, Nintendo might have bigger plans in store. One of the greatest blows attached to the 3D All-Stars collection, beside the limited time release, is that after Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury is out on February 12th, only one 3D Mario console game will be impossible to play on the Nintendo Switch: Super Mario Galaxy 2, a game that by many is considered as Galaxy improved and was left out in the coldest way possible from Super Mario's 35th anniversary 6-month-long party, and by that, I mean not being recognized at all in the big 35th anniversary direct at all. But then again, this might have been oh so deliberate, as Super Mario Galaxy in itself is a franchise and could be sold as a 2-game bundle. A Galaxy HD collection in Full HD, 1080p and in 60 frames per second for both games in the collection. That is another easy $60 for Nintendo next year, or possibly even in 2022, but say, even in upscale 4K on a new Nintendo Switch model. That makes actually quite a lot of sense in regards to Galaxy. First, offer both games when you also can offer a 4K Switch experience. So that does explain the lack of Galaxy 2 in this collection, but at the same time, the lack of the game for its 10th anniversary is disappointing, I would also say that the presentation outside of the games is a little shallow. Don't take me wrong, $60 is an acceptable price for this collection, but only just, when we have seen what other $60 collections have delivered us in recent years. Halo the Master Chief Collection, Crash Insane Trilogy, and Spyro Reignited Trilogy, which updated the graphics significantly for one or multiple titles. But the best example that Nintendo could have followed is the company they once owned 51% of the stocks of, Rareware, today Rare. Back in 2015 they released Rare Replay, a collection of their 30 historic releases for a symbolic $30 for the 30th anniversary of the company. Not only did they include timeless classics like Battletoads, Banjo-Kazooie, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Perfect Dark, and so on, but they also provided plenty of extra content, including making-of videos of the most important games in the collection, with interviews and reveals of new concepts from the developers. Even then, much like in the case of Super Mario 3D All-Stars, the collection did not include all of Rareware's games, such as the Donkey Kong Country games, DK64 and GoldenEye 007, but it wasn't because of greed, or rather that those IPs and games had gone over to different owners, including Nintendo. As you can see, Super Mario 3D All-Stars is the least effort Nintendo had to put in to get away with it, and in comparison to Rare Replay, it doesn't offer nearly the same value. Even worse, it doesn't offer the same value as the original Super Mario All-Stars did back in 1993, when Nintendo didn't only bring over the 4 Super Mario games released on the NES in Japan and the US, but also updated the graphics for all of them from 8 to 16-bit, and made the backgrounds much more detailed and vibrant. Taking advantage of the Super Nintendo's more powerful hardware, Nintendo remastered all the classic titles, including remastering the soundtracks. They did not hold any titles back. Super Mario 3D All-Stars also feels like a similar upgrade, but in the case of one of the 3 titles, Nintendo dropped the ball hard. Super Mario 64, which was in a desperate need for visual, control, and camera upgrades. And what did we get? Emulation for 2.5 out of the 3 games, lack of button mapping for all 3 games, no widescreen for Super Mario 64, no more than 30 frames per second gameplay for both 64 and Sunshine, no anti-aliasing which was on the Nintendo 64, removal of glitches used by speedrunners for decades, and a number of technical issues. Yes, the game is finally in 720p, but in what state? Definitely not what would have been expected in 2020, especially after seeing proper remakes like Final Fantasy VII Remake, Crash Insane Trilogy, Spyro Reignited Trilogy, and even Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. All of these, with exception of Final Fantasy VII Remake, are available on Nintendo Switch. I think all of us agree that Super Mario 64 deserved better, and by that we don't mean a full-on remake in this collection, as that deserves to be sold separately, but a proper remastered version in 1080p resolution with full 16:9 ratio, that is to say, full widescreen with higher frame rate and a full analog camera in stages that allow for it, because the original one is trash in 2020. In other words, slightly more updates than what was added to Super Mario Sunshine in 3D All-Stars, which feels updated, but still somewhat limited due to its 30 frames per second cap. A shame when we know that the first prototype, and even the second one from 2002, was running in 60 frames per second. Anyhow, the most crucial question and problem tied to Super Mario 3D All-Stars is its legacy, and whether it will remain the best 3D Mario legacy experience on the Nintendo Switch. I'm asking this since Super Mario 3D All-Stars is an uneven experience when it comes to its ratios, frame rate, and resolutions, and with most of the experience being emulated in HD, it does feel slightly disappointing. It also doesn't help that the release is so limited, causing pre-order cancellations and a scalper's market come April 1st, 2021. It almost feels like Nintendo wanted to emulate the pre-order a PlayStation 5 in 2020 experience. Joking aside, 3D All-Stars is a must-own as a collectible, which physical release will definitely increase in value over the years. I for one got both the digital and physical version, and I'm not unsealing the physical version, as this could be one of few limited release titles throughout the Switch's lifecycle. For collectors, this is a great benefit, but for everyone else who buys a Switch after April 1st, it might be a big hassle to deal with. Naturally, as mentioned in the beginning, the limited time release might be a way of getting the collection out of the market so that other collections or even remakes can replace it in both 2021 and 2022. Since 3D Mario's anniversaries are not only tied to Super Mario Galaxy 2's anniversary this year, but also Super Mario 64's 25th anniversary in 2021 and Super Mario Galaxy's 15th anniversary in 2022. So to end off this video on a positive note, here are a few possible predictions for 2 of the games found in 3D All-Stars. Number 1. We could eventually see a true Super Mario 64 remake, and hopefully with the added DS content and multiple playable characters. After all, Super Mario 64 DS did so much right, though the controls sucked on the DS. Luckily it is also available on the Wii U Virtual Console, but then again, there the resolution sucks. Number 2. If existing, this remake might even be in the works for the 25th anniversary next year, and could even be targeted for a 4K upscaled resolution to be a showpiece for the graphical capabilities of a new Nintendo Switch model. Number 3. We'll just end up with Super Mario 64 on an N64 Nintendo Switch Online next year. This one seems to be the most likely, and could in the year after, in 2022, be followed by a long-awaited GameCube Nintendo Switch Online with Super Mario Sunshine. But then again, 2022 is also the anniversary of the Super Mario Galaxy franchise, so hopefully a Super Mario Galaxy collection with Galaxy 1 and 2 will finally arrive and complete the console 3D Mario collection on the Nintendo Switch, consisting of 64, Sunshine, Galaxy, Galaxy 2, 3D World, and Super Mario Odyssey. And that's it. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, press that notification bell, and again for all notifications if you haven't already, and if you want, consider joining our Patreon on patreon.com/comearound. A big shout out to all our patrons, and in particular to our royal producer Charles Shash, and please enjoy one or both of these two awesome videos.